Hi family, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Life with my Cerebral Palsy Warrior. In our previous episode, we've been talking about my journey with Ikem's pregnancy, delivery, and after delivery. So in this episode, I'm going to continue with the story. The last episode, I ended with our journey down to East, where we went to Nnewi Teaching Hospital. So we are going to continue in this video with our story on our journey. So if you are just joining for the first time, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Ifunanya Okeke, a mother to a cerebral palsy warrior by name Ikem Sinachi George Ofodum. You are welcome to our YouTube channel. Please do well to subscribe, share our video, like and comment on them so that it will go viral to people that need it, especially special needs parents and people living with disability, especially in Africa and in Nigeria in particular. Okay, so in our last episode, after we traveled back to East to go to Nnewi Teaching Hospital because accessing routes in Lagos was going to be a difficult one, because when you go, they will give you an appointment to come back the next 3 months, and I can't wait with the type of cry that Ikem cried. So we went back to East. Ikem was 2 months plus when we traveled down to East. So on getting to the East, we went to Nnewi Teaching Hospital. We made our inquiries. Accessing the doctors there, it's very, very much easier than what we have in Lagos in routes, I guess, because of the populations and all that. So when we went to the first day, it was not the clinic day of the neurology department. So they clerked our file and told us what to do. They told us the day to come, so we went back and came on the day. So on the day now, you know how a government hospital works. They'll tell you to get your card, go to the record and all that. So I went with my sister. Thank God. My sister Kosa. I don't know what I would have done without that girl in my life, especially on this journey of being a special needs mom. She has been so of help. She has been very, very supportive. In fact, she's my blessing on this journey. So when we got to the hospital, I was with Ikem. I was carrying Ikem then. She was doing the registration and all that. You needed to see the way this boy was crying. I forgot to tell you, when we came back, when we were complaining that he was crying and all that, so everybody in my family, my sisters, my siblings, my dad, they were like, what kind of cry is he crying that we cannot even be able to cope with? So when we got home, he gave it to them hot. Everyone in my family understood what I was going through with my mom while in Lagos. So even when my other sister came in, she's very good with kids. So when she came in, she was happy because immediately they heard I came, everybody just came to see us. So when she came, she carried Ikem. It was as if the moment she carried Ikem started this crying. My sister was like, what's this? She didn't know that this cry is that is to this extent. So back to my story. So when we got to the hospital, my sister was doing the registration while I was with the child. So the way Ikem cried at the hospital, they didn't even wait for. In fact, Ikem's cry was a protocol breaker. His cry was a protocol breaker. That they didn't even wait for my sister to do any registration. They started clerking our files, checked his weight and all that, and they even took our files into the consultant's room to see him immediately because of the cry. In fact, everyone there, they were concerned. So they didn't even wait, like the normal people at the hospital, they will shout for you, it's not yet your turn and all that. So if Ikem's cry didn't touch you, that means you are stone-hearted. In fact, if Ikem is crying and you did not wake up, that means you are dead. Yeah, in fact, you are more than dead, because if his cry didn't touch your heart or make you to wake up from your sleep, that means you are dead. Okay, so when we went in to see the doctors, trust me, I can keep receipts, details, and everything. I learned that from my dad. So when I got to the hospital, when the doctors, I gave him, even the people that clerked the files, I brought out the receipts, everything that happened from his pregnancy till date, because I kept everything in a file. I have everything. I can't, even if I'm sleeping, you wake me up, I'll be able to tell you everything. So I told doctors everything, his history and all that. So the consultant said that from everything that nothing is wrong with the child, that they assessed him and did 1 or 2 evaluation and all that. Said that nothing is wrong with the child, that it's colic that is disturbing him. And I was like, colic disturbing him? That they've said, I told him, doctor, that they've said this colic before. I've already researched and googled about colic and all that, but his own is way too much than colic. Doctor were like, madam, I'm telling you, I'm not just a doctor, he's a consultant, so nothing is wrong, that is colic, this one, that one. Okay, he now prescribed some drugs for him. Okay, he also gave us I remembered Phenobab. He gave us prescribed drugs and all that. So, and gave us appointment next week. So that was how we went home. We started administering the drug on him. So fortunately, the cry reduced. The next week, the cry reduced. He wasn't crying as much as he was crying when we came down to eat. So everyone was like, they were happy that it means that it's colic and all that. But you know what they say, mother's instinct, it never, about my own, no, 99% is always sure. But deep down inside of me, I was feeling like something is wrong. So, and each time I went to see any doctor, I will be telling them, they'll be telling me that nothing is wrong, that I am way too forward, I'm faster, I'm a first time mom, what will I be? Nigerian doctors, some of them, they don't even, if you raise your concern, I think what they are supposed to look into it, not trying to wave it by aside because you're not a doctor and all that. So I gave I told him my fears and shared everything about him, but doctors are still saying that nothing is wrong with him. So when we now after we went home, the cry reduced and all that. So when we got back again, he evaluated him and all that. So they were like, even the nurses, they were happy that when we came again, he wasn't crying. But I would say, okay, I now began complaining, and I told doctor that, see, that this boy, that he has not started smiling at me, that social smile very well, but even though when you look at me, you just, but me, even when he was my first child, but I was still seeing all those. I was now complaining. I told doctor too again that I thought that a baby that is like 2 months plus, that if the baby is talking, that if someone enters, at least he's supposed to react, or if there is noise around him. But what Ikem does is he shocks at every little sound. Even in my house, that time that we came back, everywhere, if you want to close door, you close it gently. If you want to open door, you open it gently. My house, my whole family house, that then was conditioned because of Ikem. Everywhere very quiet, because any small noise, if he's sleeping, he'll just wake up and start crying, and nobody wants him to be crying because everyone already knows how he was always crying. So I kept on telling doctors. Doctor would be like, nothing. At a point, there was one day the doctor even wanted to send me out of his office, that I complained too much, that nothing is wrong with the child. I I was now like, okay, I now started again, doctor, are we not supposed to? I thought that we are supposed to do some kind of test or something to ascertain if something is wrong. Doctor was like, I think you have a lot of money to waste, Abi. Okay, no problem. I'm a consultant. I will give you, he was angry. I will give you, since you want to do test, you want to do scan, I have plenty of them to recommend. I was like, doctor, it's not what I meant. I don't even have that money to waste. It's not as if it's wasting, but I just want to know exactly what is wrong with him. So doctor said nothing was wrong with him. Me, I was, let's say, some part of me was trying to agree that nothing is wrong, while some part of me was not agreeing that nothing was wrong. So that was how we stayed in the East for 1 month plus. He clocked 3 months in the East before we went back to Lagos. So we kept on going back to the hospital every week until he stopped crying to a very, 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 in fact, he wasn't crying like that again. So we were now happy. We now thought everything was okay, that it was time for us. I was already tired of saying that I want to go back. I wanted to go back to Lagos to my husband. My husband too was also, our first child. He was also looking forward to us coming back, because he didn't travel with us because he had to stay back for his business. That's where the money that we are using to go up and down is coming from. So I traveled with my mom and Ikem, and my sister were there. I had my family members I had to help me. So there was no reason for him following us. So when we stayed for a month plus, so we now said that we were going back. So doctor said we can now go back to our base if we want to go to them. We should continue seeing the doctors there in case of any issues or any complaint. So I was now very happy that we'll be going back to East. All preparations we had done. That was how we packed our bags and left for it. But before then, when they told me that, when doctors at Lifeline, when they told me about delay and all that. So, but when this incident of crying came up, and I didn't know anything about cerebral palsy, but I was researching about baby that cries too much, delays and all that. So that was the first time I started seeing the word cerebral palsy on the internet. And when I now checked the meaning of cerebral palsy, the things I was seeing were similar to the symptoms that Ikem was exhibiting then. So, but I was trying so hard not to believe it, that I was like, God forbid, my baby can never have a cerebral palsy, because the things I was seeing about cerebral palsy, seeing that it has no cure, what it will result to, it was so bad. So I was battling with my inner self that this is not my son's case. But even part of me was already telling me that because of the signs that Ikem were showing, what was happening to him, they were similar to what cerebral palsy was pointing at. I didn't tell anybody this. It was just inside me. So you can imagine what I was going through, the emotional trauma at that moment, and even thinking about the possible outcome. So that is why sometimes I even tell someone that don't even Google your symptoms, because sometimes it will even kill you faster than disease itself. But on the other side, it's also good, because in fact it has advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantages is that it will make you to think more. Sometimes it will even kill you before the disease. Then the advantages is that it helped me to know the meaning of cerebral palsy. One, it helped me to accept my son's condition, even before anyone else said it. So it now gave me that, it didn't make me to go and start running up and down, or for people to deceive me that it is a spiritual case, or it is this one or it is that one. So it has 50-50 advantages and disadvantages. So like I said, it has advantages and disadvantages. So that was how we now went back to Lagos. So when we got back to Lagos, in fact, in my next video, I'll continue I'll continue to gist you what happened when we got back to Lagos. The journey is not yet over. It was as if when we got back to Lagos, it was then that the real journey started. So see you in my next episode, so that I'll continue to gist you about what happened when we got to Lagos. So thank you all. Thank you for joining. Please, if you are joining for the first time, if this is your first time on my YouTube channel, thank you. You are welcome. So please do well to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, so that you get a notification anytime I post a video. So thank you so much. Bye.